sure frying beef, Mr. Cartwright. That's the finest I've seen.
Well, they weathered the trail dry pretty good.
My company is the largest buyer hereabouts. Now, the next time you send a herd through, you be sure to look us up. We pay top dollar.
All right.
Well, they're all 10 and ready for shipping.
Didn't lose a one.
That's a good drive. They're all yours now.
If you boys will step into my office, I'll make out the transfer and bill of sale.
Oh, well, Jim, why don't you make out the papers, and meanwhile, we'll wash away a couple of weeks' worth of trail dust.
All right.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find me a place that's got fresh eggs and vegetables and fruit, and I'm gonna eat me so much I can't even push away from the table.
That'll take about 3 days.
Oh, now, come on, little brother. Don't limit me. That's more like it. I'm getting to feel more like my old self again.
You're getting to look like your old self again, too.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Rain.
Don't be sorry. Let's keep out of my way.
He's blind, boy.
Yeah. Don't you think you've had enough to drink?
Gavin, I pay you to take care of my ranch, not wet nurse me.
Yes, sir. Now, I say we should get on home.
I say keep your hands off me. Gavin, I just hit you. What are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
Anybody else do that, you'd rip his throat out. Why not me?
You know the answer to that, Mr. Rain.
Don't let these stop you. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me back.
I can't do it.
I want you to. Do you hear me? I want you to. Hit me!
Hit you.
From the feel of it, you're a big man.
What he did, I don't call him a big man.
I figure you needed that.
You're right. You big enough to take it?
You right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Put out your left hand. Now, I'm not going to duck away, but I will hit back. And I figure you got the first one coming.
You mean that?
Come ahead.
You hit pretty hard.
Well, I've had it if you have.
It's all washed out of me. I'm grateful to you, Mr.
Cartwright. Ben Cartwright.
Thank you, Ben Cartwright. I'm Matthew Rain. This will only take a minute. Hope I didn't make you feel you had to accept my invitation.
Now, the way I figure it, a man punches me in the nose. The least I can do is have coffee with him at his house.
I feel the same way.
Well, I should be back before dark.
We'll be at the hotel.
Yeah, or in the saloon. They serve a mighty fine meal over there.
Don't eat too much. That horse of yours has to carry you over the mountains.
It just might turn out to be the other way around. Well, we have a whole afternoon to kill. There's an empty seat in that poker game in there. I think I'm gonna fill it.
Yeah, there's an empty bed over there in that hotel room. I think I'll fill it. That fella, Rain, does he remind you of anybody?
I hadn't noticed. Anybody we know real well?
Yeah. Our Paul.
I was starting to worry.
No need to. We were detained.
Your face, what happened?
That's what detained us.
Where were you? Why did you let this happen?
Ask him.
Oh, you must feel very proud of yourself.
That'll be enough, Mrs. Loring. Mr. Cartwright is here at my invitation. So long as he's a guest at my house, you'll treat him accordingly.
I'm sorry.
Now that's settled. Run some hot water for us to clean up, then serve the coffee.
Yes, sir.
Stable the horses. Give them an extra measure of grain.
Anything else?
If there is, I'll let you know. You interested in firearms, Mr. Cartwright?
Yes, I am. Appreciate it if you call me Ben.
All right, Ben. After coffee, I'll show you my collection. Used to be a hobby of mine.
How do you like your extra measure of grain?
Mrs. Loring, this is the best pie I've ever tasted. My cook, Hop Sing, would be very jealous of you.
Thank you. If you gentlemen need anything, you call me. Hmm?
She seems very nice.
She's a good cook. Been with me over 2 years. Sets a fine table. Come over here. What do you think of this?
Ooh. Beautiful piece.
It was a gift from a Raja in India. Used it to bag my first tiger. Oh. It was almost my last, too.
What happened?
Charged straight at me. Got him with a bullet in the heart. He dropped right at my feet.
Things like that age a man.
Well, about 5 years' worth.
Perfect balance. How's it fire?
Like to try it and see?
Yes, I would very much.
I'll have Gavin set up the targets. Keep a true line of fire. She'll do the rest. From the sound, I'd say you were a bit high.
Well, you guessed right. It was me, not the rifle.
Try again. Dead center. Fine shooting.
Well, like you said, hold a true line and she does the rest.
May I?
Matthew, are you a gambling man?
Name it.
Well, you know, in artillery, they have spotters who direct the line of fire for the gunners. And suppose I act as spotter, and I'll bet you $1 that you can zero in 3 shots.
You got yourself a bet.
Good. It's about 6 inches to the left. And about 3 inches down. That should give us a point to work from. That was about 1 foot to the right and 6 to 8 inches too high. About an inch or so to the right. That should do it. I guess I'm not a very good spotter. Well, that should be a true line there. About 3 inches down. Hold it. That should have it bracketed.
You won yourself $1.
Oh, no.
Here, take it. Come on, you've won it. Take it.
Matthew, why don't you try it again?
I shouldn't have tried it in the first place. Take your $1. Let's go inside. Have a drink before you leave. That kind of bottle I can always hit. Gavin,
Right here, Mr. Rain.
clean this. Bring Mr. Cartwright's horse out front.
Yes, sir. About had a belly full of him. Gavin do this, and Gavin clean the rifle, and Gavin
You can always leave.
Well, these days he'll go too far, and I will.
No, you won't. Matthew Rain pays you twice the money you'd ever make anyplace else. You'll stay. You'll stay and take his insults and his money.
Well, don't be too sure.
You better get back to your work.
There's a dance tomorrow night. You want to go?
No, thank you.
Why not?
Look, we've been over this and over this. I don't know why you still persist.
Well, what's wrong with me?
Nothing. Nothing's wrong with you. I'm just not interested.
You got no call to be so uppity. You just go take a look in a mirror. Take a good look. In a couple of years, you'll be grateful if a man even nods at you.
That may be true. But for now, I still have the right to pick and choose.
You think the rich Mr. Rain is going to pick and choose you? Forget it.
Matthew, I want to thank you for a real nice visit.
Ben, stay a few days. Can give you good hunting here. Scenery to compare with your Ponderosa.
Well, I'd like to, Matt, but I think I'd better get back and see what those boys of mine are up to.
Well, perhaps some other time.
Yeah?
Goodbye, Ben.
Bye, Matt. Bye, Mrs. Loring.
Mr. Cartwright. Mr. Cartwright, do you have a few extra minutes?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to show you something.
All right.
Have you ever heard of Matthew Rain, the artist?
Is he that Matthew Rain? He never said a word.
He never would.
His paintings hang in art galleries all over the world. How long's he been blind?
Started some time ago. He's been totally blind for the last 2 years.
And nothing can be done.
He's been examined by the finest doctors in the world. It's a disease that affects the fluid in the eyes. Matthew Rain will be blind for the rest of his life. I came to work for him when he bought this place. And day by day, Mr. Cartwright, bit by bit, I've watched him draw away from life, into himself. But today, for the very first time, I saw him interested in something, in somebody besides himself.
An artist with such talent.
Why don't you stay on for a few days? He needs somebody like you.
Oh, I'd like to. Just so many things that I simply must get done. I have obligations which
Men like you see a man hurt, wounded, dying, and you rush to help him. You sacrifice time and obligations to help him. But from Matthew Rain, you just pass by and close your eyes. He is also dying.
Yeah, I think you're exaggerating.
Am I, Mr. Cartwright? Am I, or is it just more convenient not to admit it? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
No.
You're a stranger here. It's not your concern.
If you think I could help, You really care, don't you?
Well, it's just that I know what he's going through. Four years ago, I was the mother of 2 beautiful children. The wife of the most wonderful man I love so dearly. There was an epidemic, and I buried them. With them, I buried a part of myself. Oh, what was left breathed, ate, slept, but it had no will, no desire to even go on living. And when I came to work here, I saw another human being who had no desire to live, who was alone. That's when I started to live again. Mr. Cartwright, if Matthew just had one reason to want to live, if he doesn't...
Well, I don't know what good I can do, but I'll stay and try. Now, if you can get Gavin to ride into town and tell my boys to get along home. Mrs. Loring, in some ways, Matthew Rain is a very lucky man.
Well, you know what I'm going to have to do now? I'm going to take my vest off. Ready?
All right. Okay, by night, put in your castle, too. There and there.
Would you care for a sandwich?
No, thank you, Mrs. Loring.
This is in,
That should be check.
You dirty bird.
How long we been out?
Oh, about 3 hours.
The way my backside feels, it seems more like 3 days.
Want to take a breather?
I feel fine. Just not used to it is all. Matter of fact, I'm not used to many of the things we've done these last few days.
They've been good days. I've enjoyed them.
Think those boys of yours can take care of things at the Ponderosa?
Well, my big worry is they'll find out they can handle things better than their old man.
Good for a man to have a family. I was always too busy to start one myself.
It's not too late. It'd be a good catch for a woman.
Woman wants a complete man. I don't qualify.
Oh, come on. That isn't so.
Way I feel.
Matthew? Why do you treat Mrs. Loring the way you do?
I treat her same as I do anyone who works for me. She can always leave.
That's the point. She doesn't leave.
She's well paid.
You know, you're blind in more ways than one.
Ben, you say things I wouldn't allow any other man to say.
That's because I speak the truth to you.
All right, Ben. In the future, I will try to be more polite to Mrs. Loring.
Well, that wasn't the point I was trying to make.
Drop it, shall we? You know, I've been many places, all over the world. But this is the most vibrant land I ever found for my brush. When I knew what was happening to my eyes, I wanted to be here. This is one of the last places I was able to see. Ben, what do you see out there? Describe it.
I'm not very good at this.
Try.
All right. Well, there's a meadow over to the left. And the lake is filled from the winter snows.
The colors, Ben. Tell me about the colors.
The land is all green.
There are many different shades of green, Ben. The green of the meadow is like newborn grass after a spring rain. And the dark green of the hillside is like a deep forest shrouded in gray mist. And the trees that watch over the lake are like brown warriors in tattered uniforms. And over us, the sun glints silver on the lake. It dances on the darkness of the water. Till it softens into night. Then, the blue-green stillness. That's how I remember it. Let's go back.
You got company, Mr. Rain?
Who is it?
Said he was from San Francisco. Mrs. Loring is with him in your studio.
All right, take care of the horses. I have some business to transact. Shouldn't take long.
Oh, well, I'll go in and wash up.
Come with me.
All right.
I have to sell one of my paintings. When I started, I lived on nothing. It had its drawbacks, but I was content. When I became recognized, money became something to buy good times with. I spent it as fast as I made it. Now I can't hold a brush. Well, let's see what Mr. Stevens has to offer.
The color. They just seem to leap off the canvas. Mr. Rain's tragic misfortune has been a great loss to the art world.
Mr. Stevens, would you like some coffee? Anything at all to drink?
Nothing, thank you. I'm content merely to drink in the beauty of these works. Mr. Raines, how happy I am to see you. You look marvelous.
This is Mr. Stevens. He's handled the sale of my work for many years.
And quite profitably for both of us, I may add.
This is Mr. Cartwright.
Delighted. Mr. Rain, you'll never know how thrilled I was to receive your letter. Why, do you know I must have at least 5 clients who will be absolutely furious with me unless I notify them instantly when I return to my salon with your painting.
That's fine. Let's get on with it, shall we?
Yes, of course, by all means. Now, which one did you wish to sell?
I hadn't thought about it. Why don't you pick one?
Yes, of course, if you'd prefer. The one with the sea lions. I am positive Mr. Carruthers would pay $3,000 for it.
No, I painted that for a dear friend. He died before it was finished. I don't want to sell it.
Of course. I understand. How about this one of the bear?
Not that one. I knew him intimately. He almost killed me.
This one of the South Seas. I'm sure I could get a fine price for it.
I lived on that island for almost a year. No.
Mr. Rain, I'm afraid I'm not being very helpful. Perhaps if you would choose
Take
one.
what you want. I don't want to know which one. Sell it and send me the check.
And why don't you stay here with Mr. Stevens and make the necessary arrangements?
I don't think you should be alone right now.
You'll be all right.
All right.
Dan,
Yes, Matthew.
join me.
All right.
Made a bit of a fool of myself that time.
Oh, I don't think so.
If you had to choose, which of your sons would you give up?
Pretty difficult question.
Maybe it would have been better if I hadn't stopped that bear.
You don't mean that.
Don't I?
That painting of the sea lions. You did that at Carmel in California, didn't you?
How'd you know?
I recognize the landscape. You know, I was down in Carmel on business once. I can't remember just why. But I do remember walking along the beach one day, and I saw an old battle-scarred sea lion slowly drag himself out of the surf and onto the beach. That old sea lion had just come out of the surf to die. As I watched, there were 2 dogs playing around on the beach, and they spotted him. They attacked him. All that old timer wanted was to be left alone to die. But he reared up and fought those dogs off. With his last remaining strength, he fought them off. And then he laid his head down in the sand and died.
He wanted to die. Why'd he let the dogs do the job?
Because he wanted to die with dignity. And there's no dignity in giving up when you still have the strength to fight.
I do hope Mr. Rain won't be too upset over my selection. But I know I can get the most for this painting.
Please don't worry. Will you take it to San Francisco with you?
Oh, indeed, yes. However, do you have a crate to carry it in?
Oh, well, I'll have Gavin build one for you. And would it be all right if he brought it to you in town? That way you wouldn't have to wait.
Well, now, that is most thoughtful of you. I'm staying at the hotel. I feel that I've caused enough unhappiness for Mr. Rain. Would you convey my goodbyes?
Yes, I will. And you'll have your painting this evening.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Are the people that'd pay $3,000 for this?
Mm-hmm. And consider themselves very fortunate.
Why? It's only a picture.
Only a picture. There are very few people in the world that can even paint one like it.
It look like so much to me. What's so great about it?
You better get started on that crate as soon as possible.
Oh, no, you don't.
Gavin, take your hands off me.
Yeah, when I'm ready to. Now, you listen to me good. I don't have much learning, and I don't speak with fancy talk. And I ain't been all around the world, but I am a man. I think like a man, and I act like a man. And there ain't nobody gonna treat me like anything less. Leastwise, not a woman.
Have you finished?
And all I want is for you to be nice to me. That ain't asking too much, is it? Just be nice to me. Be nice!
Stop it! You bore me.
Oh, I do, huh? I bore you. But the rich Mr. Rain, he don't bore you, does he? That's what you want, ain't it? You ain't gonna get that from no blind, half-dead man like Rain.
No.
Did he hurt you?
No. He just frightened me more than anything.
What's been happening here?
Nothing, Mr. Rain.
I have ears. What happened?
Oh, just a little misunderstanding, Matthew. It's all settled now.
Stevens, you still here?
He selected a painting and left just a little while ago.
Your voice. Something's frightened you.
I'm perfectly all right.
Come over here. I said come over here. You're trembling. Now, I want to know what's been happening. Gavin, is that you?
Yes.
What happened?
It's none of your business.
What?
You heard me. It's none of your business.
Did you hurt her? Did you hurt her? Mrs. Loring, he has a week's wages coming. Pay him. And stay away from here.
That's right, Mrs. Loring. You pay me off. You fix his meals. You clean his house. And when he's through with you, someone else can take your place, because he can't do nothing for himself.
You've had your say?
Yeah, I've had it. I'll get me a job, because I gotta earn my way. But tell me something, Mr. Rain. When your paintings are gone, what are you gonna do?
Stop it! And light the lamp. What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove?
Leave me alone.
Oh, stop feeling sorry for yourself.
What do you mean?
Just that. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get out. Sure. So you can destroy everything, including yourself. Is that what you want, to destroy yourself? Well, that's easy. It takes courage to live. What for? To do what you were born to do. I can't! Matthew, the creative man is not a one-sided man.
Don't lecture me like a child.
Then stop acting like a child.
Get out.
I'll get out after you've listened to me.
Get out!
You can't see, and now you won't listen. Matthew, don't you understand you have a gift? The gift of being able to create. You have the ability to put on canvas pictures which have brought so much joy to so many people. To create. It's a gift God gives to so few men.
Well, he's taken it away again.
Only one side of it. You can still paint pictures.
How?
And today you described a scene to me. You remember? You described it as you remembered seeing it. But what you were talking about was so much more beautiful than what I was looking at. Don't you understand? You can still paint pictures. Not with a brush. With a pen.
Matthew, he's right. Think of the countless stories you've told me these last 2 years. Beautiful, exciting stories. Why, they just poured out of you. You showed me places I never dreamed existed.
How can I? I don't know how to write.
Did you know how to paint when you started? Try.
How can I? By myself. I need someone.
You have someone.
Anne, would you stay with me? To help me?
For as long as you want me.
Please. Strange. I've known you every day for 2 years. I've never known what you're really like. You're beautiful.
I'm not at all beautiful. I'm a plain-looking, middle-aged woman.
This Anne Loring is beautiful.
Now, ain't that a pretty picture?
What do you want?
Satisfaction, Mr. Rain. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to get.
I thought I told you to leave.
That art dealer. He said that a man would pay $3,000 for one of these pictures. Now, I ain't too smart, but maybe, just maybe, I might find someone to buy them from me and not ask questions on how I got them. You think I'm smart enough for that?
You wouldn't.
Wouldn't I? Well, you just stand there and watch me. You ain't gonna give me any trouble. And don't try to call Cartwright. I'll shoot him if I have to.
Gavin, don't. I'll give you money, all you want.
Money's only part of it.
Don't let go of him, Matthew. Help him.
No. No, if we help him now, he'll need help the rest of his life.
I'm all right.
Yeah, everything seems to be all right.
How is he?
Battered, but he'll recover.
Gavin, do you hear me?
I hear you.
Why do you hate me?
To you, it's just a name you called when you needed something. No, I wasn't even a name. Just a thing. I'm as good as you are. I'm a man, too. I'm a human being, and you had no right to think I was anything else.
Well, I'll take him into town to the sheriff.
No. You're right, Gavin. These past 2 years, I've been so wrapped up in self-pity, I had no room left inside me for any other emotion. I don't feel that way now. Gavin, I'm sorry. Ben, let him go. You know, when I heard those 2 shots and realized how close I was to death, I knew I wanted to live.
Just staying alive sometimes makes other problems kind of unimportant.
Thanks to you and Anne. And Gavin.
Matthew, I've just got to get on home.
We will see you again, won't we?
Yes, many times.
I hope many times. And do you have anything left of that pie you baked yesterday?
I'm sure I have.
Well, let's have some of it and some coffee. How's that sound, Ben?
Sounds wonderful.
And while we're eating, I have a story to tell you. About the time I rode around the Great Wall of China on the back of a jackass.
Sure is hot, Cartwright. No relief in sight either.
Scorcher, all right. That's what's worrying me.
Worrying about the weather won't do any good.
The weather may prevent my son House from getting here with the cash on time.
Got to 5 o'clock.
Mr. Owner, is there any possibility of extending that deadline?
I've told you, Mr. Cartwright. We've already got another offer for that land in cash. Now, I can't risk losing that to extend your option.
I could pick up that option right this second if you'd only accept my bank draft for $12,000. I don't understand you being so stubborn about it.
Look, since the drought set in, we've accepted too many drafts that have turned out to be no good. Like this one here. I've got a whole drawer full of them. I'm sorry, but my clients insist on cash.
Cash. It wasn't such a good piece of land.
But it is, Mr. Cartwright. And you know it.
Yes, sir. Sure is a hot one.
All right, don't make a move.
Name's Stedman.
Turn around.
I'm the county sheriff.
Well, I'm sure glad to see you. Getting a little jumpy with a lone rider coming up on me out here.
What do you got to be jumpy about?
Well, I mean, with the drought being what it is, there's quite a few hard cases roaming around.
Yeah.
Sorry about the gun. How about a cup of coffee? What's that for?
I like to have a look in those saddlebags. Any objection?
I don't think I have much choice, do I, Sheriff?
Move back. You've got a lot of money here.
I'm delivering it to Scottsburg for my pa. It's a land deal.
You can prove that.
Of course I can.
Suppose you come with me and we do that.
Come where?
Dutchman's Flats, about 8 miles yonder.
Sheriff, look, I gotta be in Scottsburg at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
You'll make it. Unless we stand here all day arguing about it.
What are you gonna charge me with?
I could charge you with building a fire on rangeland. Or something more serious.
Like what?
Like maybe you're part of the gang that held up the bank at Dutchman's Flats and killed the teller. Now, you want to get on your horse and let's get this thing over with?
Well, it sure ain't much of a town, is it?
It's a hot one, I'll say that. Think you could stand a cold beer?
Yeah.
Morning, Milt.
Morning, Jess.
I can't remember it being so hot for so long.
Too long. Everything's burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, that's very...
Jesse.
Now, Milt, I know what you're going to say.
I must ask you again. If I can't extend credit, the farmers and ranchers are going to have to move out. And I can't do anything about that unless you give me a loan.
Milt, you know as well as I do that since the robbery, the bank is almost without funds.
Jesse, you've just got to do something. You're the banker in this town. People depend on you for help.
Well, don't you think I know that?
Well, then why don't you do something? What are you just sitting around for?
Now, wait a minute. I'm getting sick and tired of you and everybody else in this town blaming me for this robbery. I lost as much, if not more, than anybody. Remember, it was my own son-in-law who was shot and killed. Now, that's all you have on your mind, Milt.
I'm sorry, Jesse. It's just that I've got to say no to all those farmers that come to the store all the time. I told them I'd talk to you.
What they don't understand is there's nothing I can do. If I only had a little more time, I've tried to negotiate a loan from every bank in this territory. But everybody is hit as hard with this drought as we are.
Then I say this town is going to die. Just as sure as that dang sun comes up every morning. How's Mary Ann?
How do you think she is? Her husband dead?
Good day, Mary Ann. It's nice to see you about again.
Well, Conley?
I'm sorry, Larson.
Wait a minute, don't give me that.
The bank just turned me down.
Look, I got a house full of kids, and I'm not going to let them go hungry.
I can't give you what I haven't got.
And I got it right from a feller that talked to a feller who knew the brother of one of the men that was right there.
Barkeep, it was 2 beers.
You know what he told me? I'll tell you what he told me, son. He told me there was grasshoppers. Millions of them. 50 miles north of here. Just chewing up everything in sight.
All right,
You know what?
Here's money.
Them grasshoppers is going to be down on us as sure as shooting.
There ain't no grasshoppers north of here, mister.
Who told you that?
Ain't nobody told us that. We just rode through there yesterday.
And I say there's grasshoppers up there, millions of them.
And I say there ain't. That storekeeper, that no good, tight-wad hypocrite, he won't give anybody any credit.
Well, it's the drought. That's what's the trouble, Ned.
It's that bank robber laid this town low. I tell you, them robbers got all their money.
Yeah, there's nothing being done about him. Sheriff Stedman, he's riding all around the country, finding nothing.
You leave the sheriff out of it. I work for him, and he's a good man. If he'd only let me wear a gun.
Yeah, I know.
I was in the bank the day it happened. I could have prevented the whole thing.
Yeah, Shooky, it's too hot to go through all that again.
Yeah, but I mean...
I've heard it 900 times in the last few weeks.
Yeah, but I still could have prevented the whole thing.
Fight! 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 I'm coming!
Million grasshoppers?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. It's too dang hot to fight about grasshoppers.
Well, you're right. Have a beer.
Wasn't much of a fight.
Better no fight at all.
At least there was a little excitement, huh?
Come on, Ted, let's get this place back together. What you got there, Sheriff?
Not much. Just hold it right there. All right, get down. All right, inside.
Yeah, it must be something. Riding a $50 horse.
Gee, sure is a big man.
Sure is. Just like the one.
Like one what?
I gotta give the sheriff a hand. What's going on, Sheriff? What does that fella do?
Caught him starting a fire on rangeland. Says his name's Cartwright.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, now, Sheriff, come on, will you?
Ooh-wee. Must be 15, 20,000 here.
There's 12.
You think he stole it, Sheriff? That's a pile of money. Think he stole it?
The sheriff knows where I got the money. Look, Sheriff, I gotta be in Scottsburg in 3 hours.
The sheriff's too smart to turn you loose. You might be a bank robber or some such.
Sheriff, look, all you gotta do is send a telegraph to the land office in Scottsburg. My pa'll verify my story.
You're awfully fidgety for an honest man.
Shucky.
Yes, sir?
Go stable a man's horse. See that it's rubbed down.
Right away, Sheriff.
Hey, Shucky. Who was that the sheriff caught?
Says his name is Cartwright. You know, he had $15,000 in gold in them saddlebags.
15,000 in gold? You think he stole it?
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Of course, he said he didn't, but being the sheriff, think he's lying. We're gonna hold him in jail for a while. I got some things to do. See you later.
Yeah.
Hey, Barber.
Hey, McCrae.
Barber!
McCrae, listen. Stedman's caught himself a good one this time.
You mean that fella he brought in a while ago?
Yeah, he had better than $20,000 in gold in his saddlebag.
You know who he is?
Well, his name is Cartwright or something like that. Listen, I'll see you later, okay?
Hey. He must be the one. Hey, make yourselves home. I'll be right back.
$20,000, huh?
Well, you're not in any of these wanted posters.
That ain't too surprising. Sheriff, are you gonna send that telegram or not?
Yep. I guess I'll send it now. I wish it wasn't so blasted hot.
Oh, Sheriff.
What's on your mind? I just want to congratulate you.
About what?
Oh, now, don't be so modest. Here, let's step in out of the heat for a minute. Sit down, Sheriff. Take a load off your feet.
No, thanks. I haven't got much time.
Larson tells me you caught us a big-time desperado.
You mean that Cartwright fellow?
That's right. The whole town's talking about it. That was pretty slick, catching him red-handed that way without even having to fire a shot. And I hear he was carrying 25,000 in bullion.
12,000 to be exact.
Just about what they took from the bank.
Just about. But that doesn't make him one of the robbers.
No, but if he did turn out to be one of the robbers, that'd be quite a feather in your cap. Might even change this town's opinion of you.
I'm going to send a telegraph to Scottsburg. If they back up his story, I'm going to let him go.
Sheriff, just having that fellow in jail has had quite a stimulating effect on this town. Do you have to be in all that hurry to send it?
Hey, Tom, I was just telling Connolly about that fellow you caught.
Yeah, sure sounds like he could be one of the fellows who robbed the bank.
All I know about him is what he's told me.
You know, Sheriff, I never thought you'd do it.
Do what?
Well, do something about them robbers that ruined this town.
Yeah.
Well, we believe you now, Sheriff. And when the next elections come up, we'll be remembering it.
We'll just do more than that. We'll buy you a drink right now.
No,
Come on, Sheriff. Come on. Let's go.
Come on,
Let's
let's
drink.
do it.
Come on.
Well, howdy, Sheriff. Glad to see you. Let me buy you a drink.
Yeah, Sheriff, you deserve a free drink. You know, it's all around town that you're pretty sure that Cartwright's one of the gang that robbed the bank.
I didn't say that.
Well, you're not saying he ain't either.
It's all right, Sheriff. Shooky said he recognized him.
Did Shooky say that?
Well, not in so many words, but we knew what he meant.
Well, just having him in jail makes me feel a lot better.
Me too. Gotta hand it to you, Tom.
Thanks for the beer, man. I got to send a telegraph.
Hello, Sheriff. I was just sitting here keeping an eye on things.
Thanks, Shooky. Shooky, have you been telling folks around town that this fellow we got in here is one of the bank robbers?
Well, I was in the bank when it happened, you know.
You could identify him as one of the gang.
Well, no, I didn't say that. I just said that one of the robbers was a big fella, is all.
If he was to go on trial, would you swear before a judge that he was there?
Yes, sir. I could rightfully say that one of the robbers was a big fella and that he killed Fillmore's son-in-law.
You could.
Sheriff, are you going to hold him for trial?
I don't know. I got to do some checking. You stay here.
You mean sit here and guard a desperate killer without a gun?
Behind bars?
Oh, nevertheless, it just ain't right. I just know that if I had a gun that day in the bank, I could have prevented the whole robbery.
Sure you could.
Sheriff?
Mr. Fillmore, I've been puzzled. What did you mean when you said not to be in any hurry to identify that prisoner?
Oh, that wasn't important, Tom. I just figured that maybe what this town needed was a good kick in the britches to get moving again. And just having this fellow in jail might do just that.
It hasn't been proven that he was one of the gang.
I know that, Tom. But there's no harm in him just sitting there, is there?
No. Tell me, if it turned out that he was one of the gang, what would happen?
He'd go to trial, of course.
I know that. What I mean is the money.
It would come back to the bank.
That'd just about put this town back on its feet, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. And you would be the man who did it. Mary Ann, honey, you shouldn't be out in this heat.
Mr. Connolly told me you caught the man who killed my husband.
I'm afraid everybody's jumping to conclusions. Sure, I have a suspect, but so far I haven't any proof.
Proof? Everyone in town knows he's the one who did it. Are you just going to sit around doing nothing as usual?
Now, Mary Ann, the sheriff has done all he could.
Has he?
Your husband was a friend of mine.
Honey, I don't want you to upset yourself. These last few days, you seem to be coming out of it. I don't want you to start brooding again.
I'm going over to the jail and see the man who shot Ed.
Now, you heard the sheriff say that he had no proof that it was the killer.
Will you come with me or not? Is this the man who killed my husband?
I told you before, Mrs. Wilson, we're not sure.
Ma'am, I ain't killed nobody.
Get Shuki Summers in here.
Now, Mary Ann, don't make a fuss.
He was in the bank at the time of the killing. Maybe he can identify him.
I've already talked to him about it. Now, I think we ought to let Shuki make his identification at the proper time. If we go dragging him in here now, we're liable to scare him into making a mistake.
Sheriff, my husband has been dead for weeks. Will you please get Shuki in here and let him prove whether this man is the killer or not?
Get him, Sheriff. He can tell you I'm not the killer. And maybe you'll let me out of here.
Shuki,
Yes, Sheriff.
we want to see if you can identify the prisoner as the man that killed Ed Wilson.
Sheriff,
Shuki, come on. Just go right over here.
You see Mrs. Wilson?
Come on, Shuki. Take a good look at it. Now, look. Now, Shuki, you look at him and see if he isn't the man. Look at him.
Well, it's been a little while ago.
Oh, Shuki, you were the only one who was in the bank at the time. Don't you recognize him?
But I didn't get a good look at him.
You never saw me before today in your life. Now, you tell him that.
Shuki, you be sure.
Oh, Shuki, you're the only one who can help me. Now, please. You know he's the man. Please help me.
Yep. That's the one I saw, right?
I can't understand it. I shall be here by now.
Maybe you never got your telegram.
I better check on that.
You know, you still got a little time on your option.
Well, right now, the option isn't important. My son is. Except for your stubbornness about cash, I wouldn't have to be worrying about him now.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it had to be.
Well, I thought I recognized him when he first came into town.
Yeah, well, you sure did the town a great favor, Shuki.
You sure did all right, Chuck.
You know, that means we might get our money back.
Yeah, good for you.
Come on, we'll take it down by your beer.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, no, I gotta stay here and see with the sheriff. He wants me to stay.
Wait a minute. Here, come here. Come on, let the widow through here, fellas. Come on. Right through here. Let the lady through. Oh, Tom, how about letting us take a look at him, huh?
Yeah, how about it, Sheriff? All right, now, boys.
Let's get
No, wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. We gotta do this orderly now. Orderly now. All right, you go. Yeah, you go.
You thieving murderer.
Don't talk to the prisoner. Keep it moving.
They're gonna hang you, sure.
Said don't talk to the prisoner. Keep it moving now. Let everybody have a chance here. Don't talk.
When's the trial going to be, Sheriff?
Circuit judge won't be around for a few weeks.
That'll be something. And the hanging. I don't want to miss that.
I'm afraid you won't see that, McCrae.
Keep it moving.
Why not?
He held up at the prison.
Well, is that for sure?
For sure.
Shoot. I was counting on that hanging.
What happens to all that money?
Go back to the bank as soon as the judge releases it.
Why can't it go to the bank now? The town could sure use it.
Because it's a law. That money stays right in that safe until the prisoner's found guilty.
It's a shame. Seeing as how it's our money.
Don't talk to the prisoner. Keep it moving.
That's a shame, McCrae. Why don't you get out of here? Shooky, get these fellas out of here.
All right, now, everybody, keep moving. Everybody, out. Everybody. Come on, Art.
Just the thought of that Cartwright makes my blood boil. Him and that $50 horse.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking of Cartwright, too. Can't you just imagine the high life he's been living? The liquor he's drunk, the women, the fine food he's been eating. Oh, he's had it real good. You can bet on that.
That is gravity, though. All that stolen blood money. Ain't gonna get away with it.
Oh, he's probably gonna get off.
My law wouldn't allow anything like that to happen.
Yeah, men like him use the law, Ned. You get a smart lawyer and...
Yeah, sure. Now, why didn't I think of that? Them outlaws know all the ins and outs. Why, they could even...
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Why, he can't get away with that. It's up to good people in this town to see that he don't.
Nothing's gonna happen. Unless maybe you got an idea, Ned?
Well, might have. Yeah. Yeah, just might have.
I never seen it so hot. You know, Tibbs, that old jail over there ain't nothing but an old broken-down cracker box.
Yeah.
20,000. Sure is a powerful lot of money.
That's a lot more than I've ever seen.
Me too. You thinking what I'm thinking?
When it gets dark.
Quiet down now, boys. Boys, Ned Larson here's got something important to say.
Yeah, I sure do. Listen, that thieving murder's sitting up in our jail. That Cartwright fella's gonna get off scot-free if we give him half a chance.
He's right. He's right.
Ed Wilson was a friend of yours, and he's a friend of mine. I say it's up to us to punish the fella that shot him down in cold blood. I say we take care of that fella ourselves.
That's right, Dad.
What's all the shouting about?
He's
sure, but I got a pretty good idea.
Sheriff! Sheriff! You gotta do something about it. I mean, they're talking about a lynching.
Lynching? Oh, that's probably just talk.
It's not just talking. I mean, they're gonna do it. They're talking about putting a rope around his neck and lynching him. Sheriff, you gotta do something about it.
You're drunk. Now, you get inside, get some coffee, and sober up. I'm gonna need you. And you get over to that saloon and try to talk some sense into those fellas.
You're the sheriff, Tom. Isn't that your job?
There's a telegraph we didn't send that just might have proved that man in there's innocent.
Hey, what's all the ruckus out there?
Oh, no, nothing. Just some of the fellas whooping it up a little is all.
Well, how come you ain't whooping it up?
Oh, Sheriff said he wanted me to stay here. He said he needed my help.
Your help, huh? Like the way you put the finger on me? Least you can do is give me a cup of that coffee.
Sure. Here you go.
Thanks. Why did you do it, little man?
Cartwright, put him down. Now, you go get some sleep somewhere.
Ain't a man here didn't know Ed Wilson. There wasn't a finer man in this town than Ed Wilson. Now, how many of you fellas got hurt when this Cartwright fella stole all your money out of the bank? We gonna let him get away with it? No. Well, I say we ought to string him up right here and now.
Listen to me. Listen.
Oh, you shut up, Fillmore.
I won't.
Well, then get out of here.
Let's listen to what he has to say.
Men, we cannot take the law into our own hands.
Oh, wait a minute. You're gonna listen to a man who won't help his own neighbors?
No.
You're gonna listen to a tight-fisted money grubber that won't give any of us any credit?
I can't give you any credit. I haven't anything left to give. Now, Ed Wilson was my son-in-law. And if he were here now, he would say to all of you, don't stain my name with blood.
I agree with Mr. Fillmore.
Now, you keep out of this, Conley.
Now, please, all of you, go home. Before you do something you'll regret for the rest of your lives.
Come on, I'll buy you a drink.
That's Fillmore. Oh, money bags. I shouldn't have listened to him. He don't care if this town dies.
Yeah. Forget it. It's all over. Might as well go home.
Buy you fellers one more drink on the house.
All right, Ned.
Might as well. Nothing gonna happen anyhow. That Cartwright's gonna go free. And tomorrow things are gonna be just the same. It's gonna be hot. What happened, Sheriff? What happened?
Two fellas busted in here and tried to free that Cartwright.
Is that true, Sheriff?
We heard them coming, and me and the sheriff drove them off, but one of them winged the sheriff.
We'll organize a posse and take after him, Sheriff.
Go on home.
We'll get some guns and be right back, Sheriff.
I catch you with guns, you're gonna be right in there with him. Shooky, go down to the saloon and get me some whiskey for this arm.
Right, Sheriff.
What were those shots?
Cartwright's gang tried to bust him out of jail.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna be just a question of time till somebody come up here and tried to bust him out of here. Now you want to make one of your fancy speeches about the law taking its course?
Now listen to me.
Don't you now listen to me, Moneybags, and you keep out of this. You're gonna wish you had. Let's round everybody up and meet at the saloon.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You all right, Tom?
I'll live.
You think those men were really trying to get Cartwright out of here?
Well, it's a cinch they were trying to get in here for something.
Well, that could prove that he was guilty, couldn't it?
Could also prove that they were after that $12,000 I got there in the safe.
Sheriff, I had no connection with those two men, and you know it.
You're a liar. A dirty, rotten liar.
Marianne, I wish you would stay out of this.
I can't stay out of it.
Now, listen to me. Tom is still not sure that we have the right man.
Not sure. Well, I don't care if you're sure or not, because he's gonna get it. You're gonna get it, big man. You might be able to fool my father and the sheriff here, but not for long, because there are other men in this town, real men, and they're not... You listen to me. They're not gonna let you get away with it. They're gonna come in here and drag you out, and they're gonna put a rope around your neck for killing my Ed.
Marianne.
Don't touch me!
Hey, Sheriff, the men's gathering around the saloon talking lynching again.
Shut up. What's he talking about, Sheriff? It's all that talk about lynching.
Just some of the boys down at the saloon got too much of this loud mouth. I can handle it.
You can handle it. Sheriff, you know I ain't guilty. You know it.
I said I could handle it.
You got nothing to worry about it. Didn't me and the sheriff drive off those fellas and try to bust you out
I
here?
told you I didn't have nothing to do with them fellas. Look, Sheriff, you and me can sneak out of here the back way and take a little ride over to Scottsburg, and my pa will prove to you who I am.
Oh, you think he's gonna go riding through the night with you and let something else happen?
Will you shut up? What kind of a man are you anyhow, Sheriff? A mob down there talking about lynching, and you ain't even willing to try to find out who I am.
Well, them men busting in here prove pretty much who you are.
Shooky, shut up. Go close the door and lock it.
Where's McRae with that rope?
Fillmore, you go home. Please, Ned, we're not sure he's guilty. We're still not sure.
Well, maybe you're not sure, but we're sure. We've been sure all the time.
Listen, you're not bad.
I told you to keep out of this. Now, you go home. Will you go home? Go home!
I got a nice thick one. Strong enough to hang a steer. Are you ready?
Take all the money.
Come in here and take our money.
Shut up, everybody! This ain't a carnival. We got a job to do.
So help me God.
All right, Shooky. You're a deputy, and here's that gun you've always wanted.
What do you want me to do?
You're going to uphold the law, and that includes resisting lynchers.
Oh, I can't do that. I mean, Lawson and McRae, they're our friends.
When you're a deputy or a sheriff, you got no friends.
Who is it and what do you want? Ben Cartwright, let me in.
You hold him, Mike. Paul!
What the devil's going on here?
Get his gun, Shooky.
I want to talk to my son. Was he all right?
Fine, Paul.
What's happening here? I just came by the saloon. They're talking about lynching. What did you do?
Paul, I didn't do nothing. Their bank was robbed here several days ago, and a fella got killed, and the sheriff, he thinks it's me. put me in here and put our money over there in that safe.
Sheriff, this is my son.
Well, your son is suspected of murder.
How do we know you ain't part of his gang? Two of them tried to bust him out of here. Shot the sheriff for I'm doing it.
Shuki, shut up. Go outside and see what's going on.
You all out of your minds.
If your son's innocent, he'll go free.
What about that mob out there? Are they going to wait for any proof of innocence? What about them?
We'll take care of them.
Who? How? You and your deputy alone?
Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Let's go. Here they come, Sheriff.
You stay here. I'll talk to them.
Talk to them. A simple telegraph could have established my son's identity. I got a telegraph from somebody called Fillmore. That's how I knew he was here.
Fillmore sent you a telegraph?
Yes, at Scottsburg.
Bolt this happened.
Just a minute, folks.
We think we just got proof that the man we got locked up in there is not the man that shot Ed Wilson.
A little late for that, Sheriff.
If he does turn out to be innocent, you're gonna be sorry about this tomorrow.
Quit talking, Tom. Get him out here.
I can't do that.
Now, you don't get out of the way, you ain't gonna be sheriff no longer.
But I'm sheriff now. So you folks go on home now.
Gonna shoot us, Tom? People that elected you to office?
Try me.
Tom, these your friends and neighbors. Get those keys, McRae.
Hey, Bill.
You stand right still, Biggin.
Come on, Pete.
Come on, get him out of here.
Just give me 1 minute. You want to take a man's life, my son's life. Now, let me tell you something. You don't want to take his life. You want the money that was stolen from this town. Well, in that jailhouse, there's money. A lot of it. It belongs to me, but you can have it. All of it. Just give my son 1 more day. Let him stay in that jail for 1 more day while I prove his innocence, and then you can keep the money. No strings attached. Just give me the time.
Money. That's all you think about, the money. No one thinks about my husband. No one thinks about Ed. Don't you see, this is a trick. It's a trick to stall for time. They broke that man out of jail once a day, and they're going to try it again. Are you going to let it happen?
Larson, listen to me. What this man has said is right. You're all my friends and neighbors. I know how you feel, but please, don't do this terrible thing.
I say hang them. Hang both of them.
Cut him down.
Oh, you're all alike. You're do-nothings. You're cowards. Well, I'm not. The man who killed my husband isn't going to get away with this.
Marianne, no.
Somebody get a doctor.
All right, you satisfied? Get on home. Now, you lie down easy now.
It's not a bad town, Mr. Cartwright. It's just that they quit being people for a while because they're hot and they're dry and they're broke.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, son.
Howdy. Boy, is this the home of Benjamin Cartwright?
Yes, sir.
Tether my horse.
Now, this man you're looking for, you say you lost track of him 10 years ago.
That's correct. His sister recently received a first letter from him, postmarked Virginia City, which he stated that he sometimes does odd jobs at the largest ranch in the vicinity. I've ascertained that your Ponderosa fits that description.
Yeah. Oh, one of my sons, Hoss. Hoss, I'd like you to meet Colonel Dunwoody.
We've already met.
If I may ask, why do you want this man?
He's wanted for desertion by the United States Army 10 years ago at Snake River. My orders are to return him to Washington for a military court-martial.
After 10 years?
There's no statute of limitations on desertion.
Well, you haven't told us the man's name, sir.
Well, I consider it extremely unlikely that he was used his right name. However, fortunately, I have a daguerreotype. You recognize him?
It's hard to tell. Picture's pretty faded. The man is at least 10 years old, but people change.
He can't have changed that much.
We hire a lot of extra help in the Ponderosa. They come and go. With your permission, Colonel, I'd like to keep this and do some checking.
May I remind you, gentlemen, that withholding information from the federal government on a case of this kind is subject to rather severe penalties. If you have any information, I will be at the Virginia City Hotel. Good day, gentlemen.
It's Bill Winters, Paul. I'm gonna go warn him.
You'll do no such thing.
But Paul, we've known Bill 10 years. We're not gonna let the colonel take him.
Colonel says he's a deserter.
Yeah, but why did he desert?
Hey, Pa! Hoss! Get out here, quick!
I just rode in and found him hanging over the rail.
Let's get him into the house. Hang out at the bottom of that house.
It's been a long time since I had any trouble with Indians.
Shoshone.
All I can say is he's mighty lucky. Thinking of going in 2 inches lower, they'd gone all the way through him.
Yeah, but we got a problem.
What do you mean?
Well, we tell the Colonel about Bill Winters, or don't we?
Of course we don't.
That means that we're withholding information from the government.
I'm not sure we should get mixed up in this.
Paul, the way we know Bill, we ain't got no choice.
Now, who on earth could possibly gain anything by bringing to trial a man who refused to massacre innocent women and children?
I could, Mr. Cartwright.
Colonel, you shouldn't be out of bed yet.
Oh, evidently not. Did that statement surprise you?
Frankly, yes.
It shouldn't. You see, I was the commanding officer who ordered that so-called massacre at Snake River.
Gotcha. Now it's your turn. Can't catch me. Yes, I can.
Good morning, Ben.
Morning, Maria.
All right, hey. Stop making so much noise. Can't you see your father is talking to Mr. Cartwright?
Oh, we were just playing, Ma.
Yeah, well, you just play somewhere else, huh? Go on. You too.
Can't catch me. I can't
You stay for a cup of coffee?
Oh, thank you kindly, Maria. Had breakfast just before I came over.
Well, then you can use a cup of good coffee. Hop Singh is a pretty fair cook, but coffee is not one of his specialties.
Well, if it isn't too much trouble.
No trouble at all. Long about now, Bill's about due for his 14th cup.
Oh, don't just stand there talking, woman.
How am I going to teach the children any manners when their father just hasn't got any? Good morning, Father. I've got some breakfast for you inside.
Morning, Wayoka. Does he know?
All Shoshones know. He knew 5 minutes after the colonel arrived in town.
Figured it'd probably be a waste of time, but had to come over and tell you anyway. What do you aim to do?
I don't know, Ben.
He's bound to find out we are.
I realize that. I want to thank you for going to all this trouble. You never asked to hear my side of it yet.
That's up to you, Bill.
I was his lieutenant. I was second in command. When he told me that he planned on making a surprise attack against the Shoshone village, the Snake River, I told him, I said I was ready to fight Indians, but not to make war against women and children He told me I was sentimental. He said that the only thing he wanted to do was to make sure that no white settler was ever molested by an Indian again. Now, this he proposed to do by setting an example, one example, a horrible example that all Indians would remember.
That's true. He deliberately set out to destroy the village.
Deliberately. He also informed me that as a soldier under his command, I had no right to question his orders.
I bet you don't have to say that.
No. I want to tell you, Ben. That night, I sneaked out of the camp, and I went down toward the Shoshone village. First one I ran into was Maria. She was washing some clothes down by the river. I put my hand over her mouth, and I told her to run and tell the people what was going to happen. As a result, some of the people escaped with their lives, including Maria and her father. Unfortunately, the majority of them had no reason to trust a white man. They stayed on. I can still hear the sounds. The Shoshone have never forgotten. I'm afraid your guest is in very dangerous territory.
Bill, please come here. Hurry.
What's the matter? Ben, get your horse. Come with me.
Bring you something to eat. Colonel, I'm sorry. I just don't understand you. How can you dog a man for 10 years?
Crime has nothing to do with his crime. He should have been punished long ago. And his desertion was a blot on my record as a commander. A humiliation I have endured for 10 years. Well, I intend that humiliation to end.
You're perfectly willing to sacrifice this man to justify your slaughtering an entire Indian tribe.
I understand from my inquiries in town that your own mother was killed with an Indian arrow.
You go warn the colonel. I'm going to circle the house.
Colonel, you all right?
That man just saved your life.
That's also the man that deserted me at Snake River.
How can you be sure after all these years?
Mr. Cartwright, I can recognize my own son.
Your son?
Yes, is that so strange?
Yes. It seems strange when a man is so intent on destroying his own flesh and blood.
Then I suggest that you read your Bible, Mr. Cartwright, the story of Abraham. It is now apparent to me that you were familiar with the object of my search all the time. You men now have a choice. You can lead me to my objective, or you can suffer the consequences of your own obstructionist tactics. I will give you 1 hour to decide.
Bill, do you want me to pack our things into the wagon?
And run? Where would we go to, honey?
We could go up.
No. For 10 years now, I've been afraid of this. Every street I walk down, every morning when I get up. No, if it's gonna come, I want to get it over with.
No, Bill, no. We can go away. We can go up into the mountains. We can go so high they'll never find us. Members of my tribe would take us in. They'll protect you. And the children.
Maria, there's something I haven't told you yet.
What is the meaning of this? Why do you break into my house like animals?
Let him deny what he has done. You come with us.
By whose order?
By order of Keokuk, chief of the Shoshone.
No! For what reason? What for?
Tell her. Tell her how you saved the life of the killer of our people. Tell her!
I know that. I sent him. If you had killed the colonel, it would only bring further reprisals against our people.
No. Tell her the real reason you saved him.
That is the real reason, Maria. To prevent further reprisals. But also because he's my father.
No! No! Stop it!
The hour's almost up.
Yeah. Just can't understand a man feeling that way about his own son.
Well, he gave you the answer. Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son to God, but the colonel's God is duty.
I can respect a man's sense of duty, but I always figured that in a good soldier it was tempered with some kind of understanding.
Well, I would say the colonel's qualifications as a good soldier leaves a great deal to be desired.
That won't stop me from trying to reason with him.
You'll be wasting your breath.
Ben! Mr. Cartwright, let me in! Help me.
Maria, come in.
Ben, help me. They took Bill. They came and took him away.
Who took him?
Shoshone.
Maria, they probably took him away to protect him.
To kill him.
I would doubt that.
Yes. They'll kill him because he's got your blood in him.
That may be, but they won't kill him. They won't risk another lesson like Snake River.
Why did you come here? Haven't you done enough to us?
I have no interest in your people. I came to take my son back to Washington to face up to his crime.
Crime? You talk about crime? You murderer.
Now, you go back to your people. And you tell them that if they harm my son, they'll face a worse punishment than they knew 10 years ago.
I wish you were dead. I wish Running Wolf had killed you last night.
She's like all Indians. All emotion, no intelligence.
That girl is your son's wife.
You confess you are the son of the blood enemy of our people.
He was your enemy, but that was 10 years ago, Chief. Now, that was the time of war between the Shoshone and the white man. This is a time of peace.
He talks of peace, while the bones of our women and children rot on the plains, and their murderer dares come back to mock us.
You are quick to forget what your father has done.
I think it is you who forget, oh wise shaman. You forget it was I who deserted the white man's camp to warn you. You forget to whom you owe your life. Did you forget too, Chief?
Whatever you have done, you remain a white man and the son of your father.
I am more Shoshone than I am white man. Have I not married into your tribe? Wayoka? Wayoka, am I not a good husband to your daughter? A good father to your grandchildren?
Then what of my grandchildren? Those whose cries I can still hear?
Chief Keokuk, you're a great warrior. Now, you were wise in the ways of war. What my father did, he did as a soldier, as a way of war.
Massacre is the way of a soldier?
You know, terrible as it was, I had come to understand that my father wished to set an example to end this conflict with the Indians once and for all.
Kill him! Kill him now!
Silence! It is the way of the white man's government to end war by killing women and children. And it also will be Keokuk's way by killing the son of the white warrior who killed our sons. You who have such great understanding will know that Keokuk bears you no ill will and is grateful for past favors. But by the time the sun rises once more in the east, you will die.
Keokuk has spoken.
Keokuk has spoken.
He knows. He knows, but he will not speak. Will you tell me where they have taken my husband?
He is not your husband.
He's not my husband. Then those are not my children. They have never been born. They do not exist, huh?
Better for them if that were so.
Hear me, old man. This is no time for games and secrets. You tell me where you've taken him.
He will die before another sun has risen.
They cannot kill their friend.
Shame and disgrace. It was not your fault, my daughter. You did not know.
No. I only know that I love him.
Don't say that.
I don't care who he is. I just know what he has been to me, to the children, and to you, and all the Shoshone.
Better to have died than to owe my life to such a man.
I love him more because he had the strength to do what he did. Tell me where they've taken him.
I cannot say.
You will tell me!
I cannot say.
Then get out of my house! He is still my husband, but you are no longer my father. I order you to go.
Maria, you know he can't tell you. Wyoka, I want you to arrange a parley between Chief Keokuk and me.
It will serve no purpose.
Let me be the judge of that. The Shoshone know me as a friend. I ask as a favor.
I will try.
That's all I can ask.
I make no promises. I cannot speak for Keokuk.
Then how am I to know?
Return to your home and wait. I will deliver your message.
Certainly taking their time sending an answer.
And I'm afraid you're wasting yours, Paul. As soon as they find out Bill's his son, they're going to be up.
They're going to be right here.
Yeah? What makes you so sure?
The colonel's the man they want, and the colonel is here.
If Keokuk agrees to see me, he won't do anything until after we've talked. I know him.
Well, I hope you're right.
Put the gun away, Adam.
Yes, I quite agree. Firearms will not be necessary.
I'm a little surprised in you, Colonel. I figured with your son being held prisoner by the Shoshone, you'd get a troop of cavalry together and storm them like you did at Snake River that time and finish up the job.
That'll do, Hoss.
Have you thought what you're going to say to Keokuk?
I'm going to plead for your son's life. And to remind them that Bill's their friend. We're all their friends.
Won't work.
It's worth a try.
Bad strategy. You'll gain nothing by telling Chief Keokuk Bill's his friend. He knows that. He's not going to kill him because he hates him, but because he's my son. That's his way of answering my attack on his village. There's only one thing that can influence a mind like Keokuk's. My life in exchange for my son's.
Well, that's very interesting, Colonel. I didn't think you had a father's feeling for a son.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. The move is not an emotional one. It's based on strategy.
Well, it's ridiculous. We're certainly not going to exchange one life for another.
And I'm afraid, sir, you do not understand the Indian mind as well as I do.
But I think I understand it well enough to know that I have a chance to plead for Bill's life, but if I had to plead for yours, it'd be hopeless.
One.
Enough of this! Tomorrow at the setting of the sun, the prisoner will be taken to the front gate of his home. You, Ben Cartwright, Keokuk Trust, you will bring the murderer of my people, and there the bargain will be made. Otherwise, your son will die there. That was a devil's bargain you made, Colonel.
What do you mean a devil's bargain? If somebody's got to die at a heap, I'd rather be the colonel as Bill Winters.
I don't think that's what he meant.
What did you mean, Paul? You think the colonel's got some sort of a scheme?
No, I think he's perfectly willing to give up his own life for his son.
And if he dies, what do you think's going to happen to Keokuk and the rest of his people?
Yeah. Reckon the army would wipe them out, wouldn't they? But won't they do the same thing if they kill Bill?
Bill is a deserter from the army. Probably go unnoticed. But if the colonel dies, there'll be a pretty big to-do about it. And he knows it.
You mean he's willing to die just so more Indians will die?
I think the colonel intends to do exactly what he came out here to do. No matter what it takes, he'll see to it that his son is returned to Washington for court-martial. And that includes sacrificing his own life, if need be, to keep Bill alive to face court-martial.
We are on time. I hope they are as prompt.
Keokuk keeps his word.
I keep my word, too, sir.
It's not just a man's word that's important. It's what motivates him. This need of yours to avenge yourself on your son, it's not human.
If you have been analyzing my motives, Mr. Cartwright, you're a more subtle man than I thought. But your opinion is of no consequence to me. Hello, Bill.
Father? What are you doing down here? Did you have anything to do with the Shoshone freeing me?
Well, the important thing is that you are free, Bill.
You filled out some.
You're looking well.
I haven't many vices.
How was Mary?
Your sister's well.
I asked her to write me, care of general delivery.
Yes, I know.
She didn't answer my letter.
I advised her not to.
I see.
I suppose I should thank you for saving my life.
No need.
Evidently, your friends didn't approve.
Bill! Oh, Bill! Bill! Oh, darling.
This is my wife, Maria.
Yes, I know. We met before.
Did they?
No, sweetheart. Hey, I want you to meet somebody. Come on, Eddie, you too.
Eddie?
Edward. I named him for you.
I didn't know you had children.
Well, I guess there's no way I could have told you, is there?
And I assume we are as far apart as ever?
You're still my father. I named my firstborn after you.
Pa? Is he really your pa?
Yeah? He's your grandpa, too.
No, he isn't. Wyoka's our grandfather.
Well, he's your grandpa, too, honey. This is my youngest. Her name's Maria.
Little Maria? Edward? My grandchildren.
Also the children of a Shoshone.
Kids into the house. Come on. Go with your mommy. Come on.
Mr. Cartwright, would you ride with me, please?
Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute. You can't do that. You can't give up your life for mine.
That is not precisely my intention.
You don't understand how they feel about you. They're gonna kill you. They'll torture you.
Neither prospect frightens me very much. Some 10 years ago, I gave you an order which you disobeyed. I'm giving you another order now. Go to your house with your wife and children. But it's not an order. It's my request.
Now, what are you going to do?
I'm going with him.
And risk 2 lives instead of 1? Your father is right. Your place is right here with your wife and your children.
Ben,
you'll just make things worse. I'll go with him. I'll do what I can.
If you're not back here by dawn, I'm coming up.
Why did you want me to go with you?
Because I need your help.
Help? I think you're beyond help now, Colonel. Don't forget, when the soldiers come to avenge your death, your grandchildren are half Shoshone.
I know. That's why I must not die.
How do you intend to prevent that?
By pleading for my life.
They won't listen to you, not one word.
They will listen to you.
A little late for that kind of thinking, isn't it, Colonel?
Perhaps, but will you try?
Well, you know I'd have to do that.
Thank you. I'll explain what I have in mind on the way.
The sun has gone from the sky, O great Chief Keokuk. Where is your warrior with the pale eyes?
He will appear. It was the price of the life of his son.
Wabigi! Biggie,
You take care of my part of the bargain first, Mr. Cartwright.
Biggie, what? Oh yeah, Nadine, oh yeah, Nadine. Oh yeah, Nadine, oh yeah, Nadine. Biggie, what? Biggie, what?
Red Keokuk, you have the power of life and death over the prisoner. But before you decide, there is something he wishes to say to you.
There is nothing he can say to me.
And if you will not listen to him, listen to me.
There is nothing you can say for him.
I gave my word that I would speak for him.
Speak. We will listen.
Speak. I would like to remind you that the Colonel did what he did in time of war. And in war, just as your braves must follow your orders, so the Colonel must follow the orders of the great Nantan in Washington. And he was ordered to punish the Shoshones, to bring peace to the territory.
But the massacre of women and children was not the way to bring peace.
That is true. The Colonel realizes now that he was wrong. He wishes to amend that wrong. But if you kill him, there will be reprisals. And more Shoshone will be killed. Among them, more women and children.
And how does the Pale Eyes hope to make amends for the wrongs he has done to my tribe?
He will go to Washington. He will return to Washington, and he will admit, so that everyone can hear, that he was wrong in attacking your village. He will say that such attacks can only bring more hatred. They can never lead to lasting peace. And he will apologize to your people.
Apologize? Will that bring back our wives? Our children?
No. But it may save the lives of other Indian women and children.
Words. Words! They spill from his mouth like poison!
Silence! How can I be sure the Pale Eyes will keep his promises?
If I were not a man of my word, would I be here now?
White man lies to save his own skin.
And if you were chief, what would you do?
I would kill him.
You would kill him? Knowing that many of our people would be killed in return?
Even so.
Do you feel no love for your people?
I feel only hatred for their murderers.
Look at him. This man one day will take my place. He cannot rule himself, and he wishes to rule others. Hear me, Pale Eyes. I hate you more than any man. More than Running Wolf hates you. For he does not understand as I do how great was your crime. But Ben Cartwright speaks good words, honest words. If I kill you, many more of my people will be killed in turn. And more of yours. And again mine. Let history record it was Keokuk who put an end to this senseless chain of killings. And let history record it was Keokuk who brought peace to the Shoshone. Pale Eyes,
You will promise to tell the whole truth to the great Nantan in Washington?
I swear it.
And you may go. None of my people will harm you. I have said none of my people will harm you. Go!
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did anybody see those parcels I brought back from Virginia City? Now, would one of you be kind enough to deliver these to my son's house?
Well, Colonel, of course, we'd be very happy to, but,
What are you doing in that uniform?
I'm going back with you, Dad. I want to face my court-martial.
There's no need.
We're tired of living in fear that somebody might discover his real name, sir. If it weren't for his love of us and his concern for my people, he would have gone back a long time ago.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you both. And I think I can promise your husband back within 6 months.
6 months? For desertion?
Since I am the chief and only witness for the prosecution, by the time I get through explaining the circumstances, they may very well present you with a Medal of Honor. Now, I have something for little Edward
Thank you.
and little Maria.
Thank you.
Open them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Something to remember your grandfather by. Thank you, Mr. Cartwright, and your sons for helping me see the truth. Are you ready, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.